Hi, I'm Lisa Gonzales, Chief Business Officer here in the Mount Diablo Unified School District. And this week I'm going to be talking a little bit about enrollment and answering the many questions that you've sent my direction. So why don't we go ahead and get started? We're going to talk about enrollment, and I'm going to show you some of the information about enrollment trends, particularly in California. So the first couple of slides that I'm going to present are data that just came out within the last week from the Public Policy Institute of California. And they're really a data-based, nonpartisan think tank. They do a great deal of research, particularly in public education. And what they're noting is declining enrollment across the state. So I wanted to show you a little bit of the information. To start with, they're projecting for the next 10 years a decrease of about 7%, which is pretty notable compared to the last 10-year period that they looked at. So you can see here in the two charts what it looks like statewide. So what you're seeing is really from a lot of our major metropolitan areas, certainly the Bay Area, Los Angeles, and up in way Northern California, not necessarily so urban, but definitely moves east. Now they did delve into specific counties and they did show Contra Costa County, so I wanted to provide that. They're expecting over the next 10 years an increase of about 1%. A lot of the county has already been pretty well built out, although we are expecting to see some growth in our area. We're looking forward to the reports from Davis Demographics over the next few weeks. It's going to give us an idea as to what we can expect here in our area. But for right now, this is what the Department of Finance is reporting, and working with the PPIC, that's what they came up with. So let's take a look at the last 6 years of data. What we do is we have a date in October. It's called our CBEDS date. That's the date when every single school district in the entire state takes a look at its enrollment on that one day, and that's the number we use. And so what you're going to see here is the progression over the last 6 years. And back in the 15-16 school year, in all of our elementary grades, K through 5, we had close to 16,000 students, as opposed to where we are this year, a little over 14,600. But what's important to note is where we've seen the drops as a result of the pandemic and where we think those may go. So you'll see a drop of about 250 students in kindergarten, and that pretty much, you see it pop up again in the total on the far right side. A little bit of variation in other grades, certainly a big drop there in third grade, but a bump up in fourth. So these are the type of things that we take a look at when we are trying to staff and budget for the following year. This is a look at middle school, and what you'll see is that really the biggest change in middle school, a little bit in seventh grade, so a drop in seventh, but certainly a bigger drop in eighth grade. So about 300 students as compared to the year before. High school. Now high school starts getting a little interesting because we see some growth in ninth grade for our freshmen. But when you take a look at grade 10, you see a drop there, and then 11th and 12th stay pretty consistent. So across the district, we've lost a little over 1,000 students this past year. And I want to put a little caveat in there, and I want to talk about a little bit of a bump. But if we look at the green arrows first, what we see are the greatest decreases for this year were in elementary as well as in high school. Not so much in middle school, but still. The gray arrow that's there, the reason I want to point this out is because when we were talking about enrollment last year, we did point out that the state changed the way that it counts students that are post 12th grade. And so for 1 year, that number went up. And so if we adjust for that number from the 1920 school year into 2021, we actually end up with a decrease of a little over 1,000 students. So big question that many of you may be asking, what contributes to declining enrollment? And certainly there are a number of issues. Sometimes it's very personal for families. They're relocating because of personal reasons. Sometimes it's professional because of jobs. We know that the cost of living here in the Bay Area is certainly much more expensive than most places in the nation. And so, we do have a lot of parents letting us know that they are moving out because it's become so expensive. This year, especially the impact of the pandemic, whether it has been in job losses or housing or business losses, or people wanting to move closer to family because of the pandemic. Sometimes we have parents that let us know there are different programs in other places that they want to explore for their children, including private schools, as well as quality and satisfaction issues, because, if at times if people aren't happy with what it is that they're receiving, and they may look elsewhere. And that's something that we look very closely at and try to make sure that we are best meeting the needs of our students and our families. Um, Probably no secret that there are many families out there that are waiting a little later to have children. You don't see generations happening every 20 years or so. It might be every 30 to 35 years. So that's a contributing factor. And certainly when there's unrest in a community or unrest in the district, or quite honestly, what we're seeing across the nation, unrest in the political arena, that does contribute to declining enrollment. So wrapping this all up, why is this important and how does it affect us from a fiscal perspective? We use a nice round number of about $10,000 per student, give or take, but it's a good average. And so if we lose 10,000, if we lose 10 students, it's approximately $100,000, as opposed to if we're losing 1,000 students at that same 10,000 rate. We're looking at a contributing loss of, $10 million or so. And so all of this is important, and I hope this answers the many questions that you have tossed out about enrollment and about how it works and where we are this year. If you've got a question for next week, please do go